I want to ask you about the question of accountability and responsibility. Given the magnitude of this, one of the fundamental questions is, who is responsible? Who is accountable?
I would say that the primary culpability lies with a few social media companies, and in particular Meta, because it's the largest and it's one where there have been a number of whistleblowers about internal problems, and they don't seem to make changes. I would also give some culpability to the U.S. Congress, which gave these companies immunity for an understandable reason. They didn't want companies to be sued for anything that anyone posts. I understand the original reason. But the law has been interpreted so widely in the United States by the court system that basically if social media, if design choices made by the social media companies end up harming your child, you can't sue them. And so the situation we're in is that a few giant companies have been competing for our children's attention. They've been taking our children's attention. They've been exposing them to harmful content. They've been rearranging their lives, and we can't do anything about it. We can't sue them, and the Congress isn't doing anything to stop them.
And you also make the point that these companies made no effort at the start to assess the impact on children that their devices would have.
Mm-hmm. No, that's right. I mean, the motto early on, Facebook's motto early on was move fast and break things. Now, this was a very exciting time. I just want to make clear, early on, we were all very excited about the internet in the 90s and the early 2000s. And it looked like it was going to benefit humanity in so many ways. And of course it has. And so we admired these companies that were breaking old systems, like breaking the taxi cab monopoly and giving us better car service. Well, that's amazing. And so we thought that these companies and their founders were like gods, and in some ways they were. But like in a Greek myth where a human is given extraordinary power, they tend to misuse it, and the consequences end up usually pretty bad. In this case, the social media companies were all competing with each other. Facebook understood the power law. There's a name for it, I forget the name, I got it in the book in the footnotes, that the value of a network grows not in proportion to the number of its users, but to the square of the number of users. And Facebook has been discovered to grow even faster. It actually grows in proportion to the cube of its user base. And they understood that early on and knew they had to get everybody quickly.
Okay, now, one of the fascinating conceptual points you make in the book is that children are not really the customers or the clients, they are the product. Can you just elaborate on that critical conceptual point for me?
Certainly. So I'm a professor in a business school, and I have enormous respect for free market capitalism. And I heard one philosopher describe a healthy capitalist economy, a healthy free market economy, as a system in which the only way you can get rich is by making other people better off. And that's beautiful. And that is true for most businesses. They get rich because they make a product that people want to buy. So why is it then that some of these social media companies are harming their users? Their users say in surveys, there was a recently published survey, do you wish that Instagram or TikTok were never invented? And most college students say yes. My life would be better, the world would be better if this product didn't exist. And so how can this state of affairs come about in a free market society? And the answer is that the people using the product are not the customers. These things are given to us for free, but it's only free in the sense that we don't pay them money. We give them our attention, which in this day and age is more valuable than oil. It's more like gold. And the advertisers are desperately competing to get our attention. So the business model that was developed by Facebook and other companies required extensive psychological manipulation and engineering to grab hold of eyeballs and hold on to them as long as possible. And that's what they've done.